the XAUUSD, popularly known as the gold spot. And on the gold spot here, we sold at the beginning of the week. Actually, we were able to scoop in about approximately 200 pips after having multiple entries on this asset. Then when price dropped into this range in the last 4 days now, I think, we have seen price confined within the 1,829 and the $1,817 area to emphasize the level of indecision in this market. Now, a couple of days ago, we had a buy position which lasted about 48 hours in this market before we were taken out of that position in a loss yesterday, and it's okay, we will make our profit back on this one. Now let's look at things from a technical standpoint and what is really going on from the psychological perspective here. Now, looking at the structure here, like I said earlier, we can see that price has been confined within this range since the last 96 hours or so, further emphasizing the level of indecision. And one thing hold on a second. All right, sorry for the breaking transmission here. So like I was saying here, after being taken out from our buy position in a loss yesterday, the market's current conditions still remains uncertain as we await the release of the NFP data today. Trading activity, like I said earlier, has remained confined within the 1,829 and the $1,817 area, indicating that the major players have likely stepped aside and are waiting for further indications before taking any actions. The upcoming NFP data will provide valuable insight into whether the labor market is still tight, particularly in light of the strong JOLTS report and softer private payroll data. These factors may influence the Fed's decisions to raise interest rates this month. In the meantime, we must exercise patience and wait for signals such as a breakout or breakdown of this range, which could present potential trading opportunities. And for those of us who have been part of this community for a while now, you know how we do it whenever price action falls into such a range like this. We have no other choice than to exercise patience, waiting for a signal to come, which is likely going to come in the form of a breakout, retest of the resistance line for buying opportunities, or the breakdown, retest of the support line for selling opportunities. Now, besides these expectations here, there's one pattern or structure I was able to spot here, and that is a descending triangle, which from a technical standpoint is considered to be a downtrend continuation pattern. Now, let me give you a visual representation of what I'm saying so that you can have a better perspective into this. Now, following the impulsive move we witnessed in the last couple of weeks here, we saw how we had a support line around the 1,817 where sellers have struggled to break through that area. Now we have this descending trend line here, as you will see, giving us that descending channel right now. And from a technical standpoint, we expect that price will be breaking down the support line, retest of structure to incite the downtrend continuation. So this one looks more likely to happen today. So I'm of the opinion that sellers might likely be taking over this market. But before we can consider selling here, I would like to see price action take out the support line at the 1,817. As you will see, this area has been a strong buying niche as sellers have struggled at any time price comes within this area. So you can see what has been going on. Though yesterday we saw the breakdown happened, but we can see that sellers were unable to settle below that area, which is a sign that buyers are gradually gaining momentum. So if I want to consider selling the XAUUSD at all today, then I will need price to take out all the buy positions along the 1,817 zone, retest that structure before I can consider selling the XAUUSD today. So Let's keep this in mind. The $1,817 level, the breakdown of this level will be playing a major role in revealing selling potentials in this market today. However, in as much as we're looking out for bearish momentum, it is, you know how we do it in this community, it makes quite a lot of sense that we also consider the potentials of buyers too. Now, one of the reasons why we will want to consider buying potential here is considering today being the last trading day of the week, which is always peculiar with profit-taking activities, as major players in the market will be rounding off on their position, closing their positions ahead of the weekend. And this normally reflects on the chart as price moving in the opposite direction of the prior leading price action. And in this case scenario, the continued buy pressure here around the 1,817 level, if it persists, then there are chances that price will likely be breaking out of this descending trend line to incite an uptrend move. Now, if I want to consider buying the XAUUSD today, I would want to see price take out this descending trend line, which interestingly shares a beautiful confluence with that 1,825 level. Now, for me to consider buying here, I want to see a breakout of the structure. So if a breakout happened, remember we need some confirmations here, considering the fact that we are within a long-term bearish momentum in this market. So to give a visual representation here, this is what we want to, hold on a second, this is what we want to look out for. We want to see price take out both the descending trend line, the 1,825, then we scale down into our lower time frame like the 5, 10 or 15 minutes time frame to look out for confirmations where we want to see signs that sellers are finding it difficult to drop and stay below that descending trend line. And this, of course, would reflect on the chart as continued buy pressure at the retest of structure. Then we can join the uptrend move. And if price continues to climb up, breaking out of the resistance line of that range, and then at this point, I want to feel very, very comfortable in a buy positions. Then we also have multiple levels we can use to maximize this move, like the $1,839.50 level, where the breakout retest of that structure will be welcoming more buying opportunities. So these are my views here on the XAUUSD. It's a very simple setup we have here. So our center of focus for today is basically between the 1,825 level and the 1,817 area, where depending on where the breakout or breakdown happens will determine or reveal the direction where price is likely going to close for this week. So let's mark these levels out. So we're looking for selling opportunities below the 1,817, and we're looking out for buying opportunities above the 1,825 area. So these are my views here on the XAUUSD today, and I'm hoping that we be patient enough to allow our structures to mature before we jump into any positions today. So if you have any questions whatsoever, I would really appreciate you drop them in the comment section, as I will take the next 10 to 15 seconds to see if there are any. You can also use that time to mark out this structure on your chart so that you'll be able to use them as a reference point to guide your independent trading decisions today.